everyone, welcome back to ONYX Pages. I want to talk to you a little bit about Neon Hemlock. So Neon Hemlock publishes some really amazing titles, queer, people of color, often like horror, fantasy, and science fiction. At least those are the titles that, and speculative, right? Speculative works. Those are the titles that I find myself most attracted to. In this video, I'd like to share with you a number of books that I received recently from Neon Hemlock. So I hope that you get your TBRs ready, get your notebooks ready, and I'll see you in 2 seconds. I am a big fan of queer writers, particularly, obviously, my channel is devoted to reading stuff written by Black folks. And so LP Kindred is the one who invited me to learn more about Neon Hemlock and the work of Dave Ring, who's the principal there. And I have enjoyed a lot of the things that I've read from Neon Hemlock. And so they sent a call out to content creators recently, and I said, yes, I would love to receive some pieces of work. I specifically focus on Black writers, and then I got an envelope in the mail with some great titles. One of the titles I've already read, but the other ones were new to me. So I thought what I would do in this video is just read the titles out to you, and read the little blurbs in the back, and you can decide whether or not you would like to read them as well. I'm gonna keep the one that I've read to the end. Okay, so the first one is Good Boy. All right, and Good Boy is a chapbook. It was written by Jason Crawford, and you know what, and this, Good Boy was the winner of the 2021 Outright Chapbook Competition, selected by Dina Rod. So the first thing that I love about this book is its size, and many of the Neon Hemlock books have like really interesting interiors. The inside pages often have some kind of illustration or texture or interesting things in the margins, and I already see that happening in this book. So I'll just read the blurb in the back. Vividly touching, Good Boy deftly articulates a longing for what's unknown, glistening and waiting for understanding. Crawford reminds us the body speaks even when we do not want to listen, and how the blame projected onto an unruly body is only a reflection of what we fear. Poignant, lyrical, and full of longing, Good Boy is an anthem for boys being boys. Good Boy, that was by Dina Rod, author of Scattered Arls. And then another blurb is, Good Boy lifts its sleeves and shows us the intimate bruises of growing up and into queerness. Now I have a good friend, and what I learned from them is they see queerness as speculative, right? And anything written by queer folks or written by queer folks about queer folks and about the lives that we lead is in a way speculative, right? Because like the reality of identifying as queer is that you really do have to go against what you've been told, right? You've been told who to love, what genders to love, how many to love at a time. And, you know, queerness requires folks like me to sort of say, I don't agree with that. In fact, this is what I'm choosing to do. And that takes a lot of courage. It can be quite exhausting. Relationships can end as a result. And so there is an element of, you know, what if I come out? What if I'm not interested in this gender? What if I don't want to have this kind of reality? I need to embrace the unknown. And so I think that idea of embracing the unknown, going against the grain, risking the things that are important to you in order to achieve a future that is more aligned with your values and identities, that is a very speculative thing to do. So I'm not sure if Good Boy is going to include speculative elements, but I did express that that's my interest, so I'm assuming that there will be some element of that. I'm already seeing I've opened it to a page with an excerpt of poetry, and there's already some surrealism in the poetry that I'm reading. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so this next piece is Glitter and Ashes, Queer Tales of a World That Wouldn't Die, edited by Dave Ring. Now, I find the cover really compelling because it seems to be a diverse group of people in the woods around a campfire. And I'm not a camper, but there is something very, like, dystopians often have people burning things and sitting together to try and figure out what's going to happen next in the world. And sitting around a fire is such a beautiful and magical experience in so many ways. And there, I think of a lot of fires. I think of Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talents a lot as well. Just by looking at the cover, it's clear that there are folks that are at least genderqueer or non-binary. There's a person with several prosthetic limbs in a wheelchair around the fire, and everybody's sort of talking, smiling, looking at each other, holding each other's hands. And so, I love what I'm seeing already. I anticipate that this is going to be stories of, creating a new world that centers those who are often marginalized in the world that we're in right now. So, come gather around the fire. Glitter and Ashes, Queer Tales of a World That Wouldn't Die, is an anthology of post-apocalyptic fiction centering queer joy and community in the face of disaster. So, yes, I love this. What does hope look like when everything is lost? Now, more than ever, we need to revel in the bright spots amidst the darkness, the fire. The 23 stories and 2 poems contained here, as well as the role-playing game Dream Askew by Avery Alder, imagine queer communities in myriad futures interrupted by collapse, post-apocalyptic futures glistening and bleak, challenging, and eerie. Okay, I might have read that sentence wrong, but Glitter and Ashes is here to hold up a torch. Come gather around the fire. So 23 stories. I'm excited about the fact that there's a game here, a role-playing game. I don't really play role-playing games, but to find one in a book seems really interesting. And I'm just looking at the list to see if there's anybody I notice. Okay, so C.L. Clark, Sheree Clark, has written a piece in here, and Sheree wrote, oh goodness. Oh, where is their title? It's here. The name is escaping me right now, and it's not because I don't remember the name of their book. It's not that, because obviously it is that because I forgot the name of the book. But it's because the book has another name in my mind. And the name that their book has in my mind is Terrain's Arms, because the image that shines from this book is the arms of the main character. And so I don't actually remember the true name of the book. And now it's going to bug me. So I'm going to see if it's behind me. And it might not be. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. Sorry, Sheree. But it's your fault for making characters that are so memorable because of their limbs that I've renamed your book in my brain. Yep, it's gone. I will find it. So C.L. Clark. And then we've got, who else? L.D. Lewis. I first learned about L.D. Lewis around FireCon. That's where I first heard of what she did. And so maybe it was the work that she did in FireCon and coordinating the convention, and then her writing. So maybe that's where I first heard her name. But I've read a few pieces that LD has written, so I'm excited to have the opportunity to read more. The There's Darcy Little Badger, an Indigenous writer. I've not read any of their work. Who else? That's pretty much it in terms of names that I recognize. So I'm looking forward to being exposed to a number of new writers. So that is Glitter and Ashes. Okay, so I have a few more. This next one is called Off Time Jazz by A.Z. Louise. And so right away I'm intrigued because we have a main character that's a black figure in a suit, looks like maybe a little steampunky, maybe a little 1950s, with like a one glasses. I don't know what that's called, but glasses just with like one side. Looking very dapper, and it looks like this might be a mystery. And the person I'm reading them is queer, so this says, in an alternate Harlem Renaissance, where new forms of magic created by black joy strain against the white establishment, Knox's old colleagues at the Bronx Academy of Magic have started turning up dead, pushing her weakened abilities to their limits. And now, if she can't solve the case, she might be next. Okay, so we've got a mystery. We've got a magical school or a magical society, and I love a magical school. And I don't read a lot of mysteries. I love the alternate Harlem Renaissance, which feels like Afro-retrofuturism. That's a term that I learned from Nisi Shawl. So we'll see. This seems interesting. And I love a novella. They're just so, you just read it over a weekend and you can just luxuriate in the world for a bit and then you're done and you can move on to something else. So I'm very happy about that. A lot of the works that I've read through Neil and Hemlock are either anthologies or novellas. So I like that you can sort of go in and out of the world. And it's easy to sort of read them in between larger works, and I saved them for that. Okay, so this is A Necessary Chaos, and this is written by Brent Lambert. Brent Lambert is somebody that I learned about through Fiacon. I really enjoy the way that Brent holds space, and they speak so like generously about other writers, and they do a lot of or did a lot of interviews on Faya's YouTube channel as well, and I just like the way that they engage the work. So this is Necessary Chaos, and very juicy cover for sure. All right. So Alphys is an anarchist, a phantom dragon. Vade is a touchstone, an imperial agent. Their love was never meant to survive. In a world of magical empires and the anarchists that would tear them down, A Necessary Chaos is the story of Alphys and Vade, assigned to spy on the other by opposing sides. But now that they've both caught feelings, where will the loyalties fall? So enemies to lovers, for sure. Queer love. Also, on the cover, they're both very attractive characters. So I think that I think this might have some steam, some spice, which I'm hoping, because I'm into that right now. So let's see what we get in this story, but I'm looking forward to it. This is, I believe, Brent's longest work and perhaps debut novella. Yes. So that's A Necessary Chaos. And the last book I'm going to talk about is How to Stay Alive. I already have read this, so I will definitely be gifting this, and it was spectacular. And this is How to Stay Alive. Nyokabi's world unravels after her brother Baraka's death by suicide. When an eccentric auntie gives Nyokabi a potion that sends her back in time to when Baraka was still alive, it becomes her only goal to keep him that way. But Kabi soon learns that while storytellers may be the carriers of time, defying the past comes with its own repercussions. This was spectacular. It was It is Shingai and Jerry Kagunda's first large published work. I think she's done a lot of short stories, but a wonderful novella. I read it. I highly recommend it. I think it's really powerful for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that it deals with issues related to grief. And I think that grief is super speculative, right? Because like what happens after people die, right? And how do we deal with our regrets? How do we deal with the connections that we have? How do we deal with the memories? What if we had done this? What if we hadn't done that? What if they believed this? What if they made these kinds of choices, right? All of those what ifs are all speculative. So there's something very speculative and surrealist about how we approach death and grief. And I find that I recall that this novella was really, really compelling for me because it deals with those issues. Okay, my friends, so that is it. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much to Neon Hemlock for sending these books to me. I guess I have a more like invigorated. I was really excited when I received the package and looked through them, and now I am reinvigorated because I've refreshed my memory on the book candy that I received. I'm really interested in delving into the world. I think the ones that I'm most excited about right now are certainly Unnecessary Chaos, and I'm really curious about this Off Time. Actually, these three. So Unnecessary Chaos, Off Time Jive, and then Glitter and Ashes, right? Just the post-apocalyptic thing feels, I don't know, maybe with the US election coming forward, I'm kind of feeling apocalyptic-y, needing to read more works that remind me that we have a lot more power than we sometimes believe. So that's it. Please, in the comments below, let me know if these books spark your curiosity and which one or which ones do. Also, if you've reached the end of this video, a book stack would be really great, along with colors from the cover of the book that you are most interested in. I want you to always remember to read with purpose. Please subscribe to this channel if you are not already subscribed. If you like the content that you've seen in this video, please feel free to share it on whatever social media platforms you're on and encourage others to watch previous videos and also be a part of the channel's evolving nature. So for now, I will say bye. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.